So being a dreamer is not as ideal as it sounds. There are many things you have to learn about yourself in order to progress in our understanding and developing our ideas into reality. Edgar Allan Poe once said that those who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night. Dreams are what people build who are blind after birth can see images in their dreams. Anybody can dream, and it also prevents psychosis, so it's a great thing to have. And I like using this quote by Muhammad Ali to really focalize my point, and that champions aren't made in the gyms. Champions are made from something that they have deep inside of them, a desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have the skill and the will, but the will must be stronger than the skill. And to me, this is very important. And how can you do this? You need to be unreasonable and senseless sometimes. You need to ignore your senses. You need to learn from history. You need to realize that mind is the real battleground. Life is lived inside out and not outside in, and that you need to trust your thoughts. And in my opinion, we are so caught up in the theoretical, I felt a need to proceed from the theory. Growing up as a dreamer, I felt the need to escape. We need to expand, reshape, redirect our perceptions, our reality, our creativity, and our imaginations. We are all dreamers at heart, but some of us are also dream weavers. If even we have 1 out of 1,000 dreams that actually come to life, that's still one idea that we brought to the world. That's one more thing that we have done that we have not done previously. The bicycle was my escape when I was growing up. It was my way of getting away from home. And to me, it was not just a mode of transportation or a fun thing to do. It was a lot more than that. It was a simple yet complicated combination of particular arranged components that provided a method of freedom, enjoyment, and transportation. To my mom growing up, it was just a bicycle. Whoever invented the bicycle was a genius, wouldn't you agree? And even the artists who represented that image actually showed that you can actually reconceive the way that somebody perceived something originally. Pierre Bourdieu was focused on he was focused on breaking out of the established forms of scientific communication by compiling analysis, raw data, field documents, and pictorial illustrations. But where did we go wrong? And how do we know what we don't know? I contend that our beliefs can sometimes get in the way of how we're able to deal with the situation. And our perspective plays a big part. Our conceptualized ideal representation of a relationship is usually what prevents us from actually being in a relationship. And I know for myself, that's actually gone in the way of having a genuine relationship. So we need to keep our heads away from the shoulds and oughts and start thinking the what ifs. We need to start believing in ourselves and all that we are. And we need to know that there's something inside all of us that is greater than any obstacle that we'll ever face. And putting it together, Virginia Satir, she actually put this great quote together about not having regrets and actually just living life. And a big thing that has to do with a lot of what I'm talking about is fear. And fear and not having words to describe what we actually mean. And this goes back to actually meaning everything that we do and why we do things. And everything needs to have a purpose, and not just doing things because that's a cool thing or that's what we should be doing, but because we believe in it. So this is going back to one of my projects I first talked about, and this is the chalkboard idea. And then 2 months later, you see it come to life, which is awesome. And I realized through the process of this whole project that problems weren't the problem, it's the way that we perceive them. And it was really interesting. And a big thing for me while I was going about this was the positive approach. We really need to believe in yourself and all that we are. So this is something that really played into it, and then fear was also another big thing. And through the course of my project, I had to realize that fear was not the problem, that maybe it was the way I was perceiving the problems, and that maybe we don't have a communication problem, but maybe we're contact deprived. So this is one thing I had to take into consideration when I analyzed my whole project, and that we are the only ones holding ourselves back. It's our preconceived notions of what we think something will be, and that gets in the way of letting it be what it's actually going to be. And I know that this has ruined a relationship for me before, but that's old news. Fear is not the enemy. It is just a precursor to a moment of change. It is the chance to arrive above the circumstance or bow before it. There's no fear, only energy that does not know where to go or what to do. And for me, fear was getting up on stage tonight. And just not caring about the fear was a big thing. And this is kind of cool. This is what somebody drew on the sidewalk because they ran out of room on the chalkboard. And just kind of seeing how other people's imaginations expand upon your own is really interesting. And we're all dreamers at heart. Be this joy for all the time and embark on your experiences with fresh eyes, like a newborn baby, just coming into the new world after being in the womb. There are many new wonders for newborn babies to explore, so approach your days with this attitude, as if nothing is new and accept everything. Even if the new sensations of light sparks around you and changes your perception, and that really, you need to work out your brain a little bit too, I guess. So